Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann Underwood, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2017 Dodge Journey in the Crossroad Plus trim level. So this one has some nice cosmetic upgrades as well as other upgrades, functional upgrades to show off. So let's go ahead and check it out. The wheels are a really sharp looking hyper black, which is kind of like a satin chrome, I guess you can say. Alloy wheel in 19-inch. You also have four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc brakes in the front and solid disc brakes in the back. The name of this color is Granite, and it looks really good, especially with those wheels. And then you have that satin chrome around the outside there, accenting the vehicle. Here in the front, you have that Dodge Cross grille with the gloss black and the matte black there in the center. The headlights are reflector halogen headlights, high and low beams. You also have reflector halogen fog lights there at the bottom. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system with the lock and unlock buttons, remote start, and a panic. So let's go ahead and push the panic button and see how loud the horn is. It's pretty loud. So it flashes the lights and beeps the horn when you push the panic button. You just push the panic button again to turn it off. There's the Dodge name on the back. It also has a physical key on the inside in case you need that. Let's go ahead and start it up using a remote start. This will work a whole football field away. It starts up. It just beeps twice to let you know it's going to start. You can turn that feature off if you wanted to. To turn it off, you just double tap it again and it turns off. With the proximity key system, you just have the key in your pocket. It's designed, you don't even have to take it out of your pocket or your purse. You just walk up to the vehicle. Right now the vehicle's locked, so I can pull the handle here and it's locked. You can see the lock right there is down. But if you were to put your hand behind the handle, it unlocks the door. It senses the key within a close proximity of the vehicle. It senses your hand position and unlocks the door. To relock it, you just push this button. Okay, here's the inside of the passenger door. Now you notice it's all black except for the white contrast stitching there, which is looking pretty nice. It's all soft to the touch here around your arm. You also have this dark metallic looking material there. It's looking cool. Bottle holder here at the bottom. There's your threshold. Leather seats with a cloth mesh here in the center. Then you have the smooth leather on the outside with the contrast stitching. You have plenty of leg room. Now I put the seat all the way back so you can see the maximum amount of leg room here in the front. And the seat's quite a ways off the floor so your knees are not sticking up in the air. You have this little net pocket there for putting some small items. You also have a place, speaking of putting small items, underneath the seat you have some in-seat storage. You can put your valuables in there, so that way people don't see them and they won't even know they're in there. There's your dashboard. It's all soft to the touch too. It's kind of like a Nerf material in a way. Lockable glove compartment. And it's pretty standard size, but it's all smooth plastic so you can keep it clean easier. So this vehicle has privacy glass. It's not a film or a tint on the glass, it's actually made into the glass. So it keeps the sun from shining in on you and also people looking in. But when you look from the inside out, it doesn't reduce your visibility. It actually increases it because it decreases the glare. Okay, so here's the inside of the back door. You have the same styling with the contrast stitching and the soft to the touch surfaces here and the storage compartments. And check it out, there's one thing I noticed. This door sticks almost straight out. So it's really easy to access the back of the vehicle. That is a really good plus, having the door swing out that far. So here's your back seat. Now it's a bench seat, but you can slide it forward and back. So I put that seat forward just so you can see the difference there. It also has this cup holder armrest that goes down, but you can move that up out of your way like so. So now you can see that other seat better. Both seats will move forward and back, and it's a 60-40 split. You can also fold the seat flat, or you can scrunch it up to access the third row, which I'll show you in a second. There's a 12-volt power supply that's always on with the battery. A little bit of a hump there in the center, but not too bad. And if you have more valuables besides what's underneath the seat, you can always, there's your overflow valuables right here. You can put them here on the floor. So you have that on both sides in this floor storage, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, so folding the seat down is pretty easy. You just lift this up. This is to move the seat forward and back. This is to fold the seat down. So you fold it down like so. That's kind of like your cargo mode. Let's move it back up. Now, if you want to access the third row, this lever right here, just pull it forward, and it looks like it's going to fold down, but it doesn't. It lifts that up too, and it kind of sandwiches or scrunches, or whatever you want to call it, the seat up forward. So that way you can access the third row right through here. So there's your third row seats. It's a 50-50 split, so you can fold down one or both if you need to add to your cargo space. Now the floor is not that far down from the seat, so it's not really designed for long trips as far as adults sitting back there, but it is an adequate third row seat in most cases. You do have some cup holders there and some tie downs and stuff like that. There's some climate control vents and lights there in the ceiling. Let's take a look at the back of the vehicle. You have that spoiler there at the top. You have a backup camera directly in the center, which is great position for it to be in. You have the parking sensors across the back as well. Really like that chrome accent, or the stainless steel or whatever alloy accent. It looks pretty neat. You also have dual exhaust tips back here. Looking pretty good. So to open up the tailgate here, the handle is all the way here to the right underneath the E. You just pull on that and it lifts on up. So here's your cargo space. Now if you have all the seats occupied with passengers, which is 7 people, this is your cargo space. So it's kind of limited. It's not too bad though. You can put some suitcases or whatever back here. You do have a little bit more cargo space under here. Kind of keeps things out of the way. And under this is your tools for your spare tire, which is located underneath the vehicle. You have a 12-volt power supply on this side, which is turned on and off with the ignition switch. So to fold these seats down, it's pretty simple. You just pull up on this strap and push it down like so. It also folds down the headrest at the same time. So once you start folding seats down, you can fold these down the second row, and even the passenger side seat folds down flat. So you have this massive cargo space. So I think I measured it one time, it was like 9 feet from the back of the vehicle all the way up to the dashboard. So it's pretty good as far as the flexibility between passenger and cargo space. The fuel door is on the driver's side for convenience, and it has the yellow cap indicating that it's a flex fuel vehicle, and you can use up to 85% ethanol or E85 compatible vehicle. Now it has a little tether here for the cap so you don't lose it, but it also has this little place right in here to hang the cap, hang this wire so it keeps the cap away from your granite paint. To start the vehicle without the remote start, you just have to have the key inside. It can be in your pocket or whatever. Put your foot on the brake and hold it and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mat hooks in place. You have plenty of legroom. You even have a little net pocket there. There's your accelerator and brake pedal. And right in here is your foot actuated parking brake. You also have a footrest, place to put your foot there, just underneath it. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. Opening up the hood latch is slightly to the right of center. Right in here, you move it to the left and lift your hood up. Now it does require a prop to hold it up. There's the prop right there. So here's your engine. Underneath that big plastic cover is an engine, and it's a 3.6 liter V6, Pentastar V6, and it's paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And even though they have a V6 in here, there's still a little bit of room around the engine. I was kind of surprised. The cover kind of takes up some of that room, but you can actually see the engine here in the front. Your oil filter is right under here, so you don't have to actually get underneath the vehicle. The oil filter is right there, so that's cool. Here's the inside of the driver's door. It's just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have your power window, your door lock controls. Here for the driver, they have a one-touch down driver's door. You do have to hold it to go up, however. Then your side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and you adjust it with that little pad. You have a power seat, combination of a power seat. You have the power lumbar support, which is 4-way. You also have the power forward and back, up and down, but the tilt on the back of the seat is manual. So right in here we have your headlight controls. It's automatic, off, parking light, and then on, and then your fog lights are turned on by pushing it in the center. There's your interior dimmer switch for your gauges. You also have a tilt and a telescoping steering column. There's a little lever right under here. You just release it. You can move it up and down, in and out, and then you lock it in place right there. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here on the inside. Now you notice the center console here is lower, so it doesn't interfere with my knees, which is great. And I have very adequate leg room here. Plenty of space. So let's go ahead and take a look at the window sticker. You can use the pause button to get any information that you want off of it. So you can see the packages. So you can see the optional equipment starts right here. This is all standard above. And then it continues down here and all the price totaling up at the bottom. There's your fuel economy. Okay. So let's start here on the steering wheel. It's a smooth leather wrap steering wheel. The smooth texture. It's not slick or anything, but there's no texturing to it. But it has a very good thickness, so it doesn't dig into your hands when you're trying to drive, especially on long trips. You have your cruise control here on the right side. You have a volume for your radio on the back. So you use these fingers here, you can adjust the volume. And there's a center button which you can cycle through your AM, FM satellite radio, your different audio sources. On the left side of the steering wheel, on the back, you can cycle through, change your stations up and down, and then the center button will cycle through your presets. You have voice recognition. Your Bluetooth controls are here, and these buttons correspond with this little screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. Your windshield wiper controls are here. So here's your gauges, and they have this really cool red design with the black background, and then the metallic dial, kind of like a watch dial there on the outside. Your RPMs on the left, as well as your engine coolant temperature. On your right is your speedometer with your fuel gauge. But right here in the center, you have a little screen, and at the top it shows the outside temperature, the odometer, and on the left side it shows a digital compass. So now the vehicle is facing west, so that's that. And in the center it's showing the vehicle speed, which is a digital speedometer, but you can change that using these buttons here. So I'm going to kind of use these buttons, the arrows and the back button, to kind of scroll around just to kind of give you an idea of what's in here. So we can scroll down, we can go back out of that, vehicle speed, fuel economy, we can go into this. It gives you an average, a distance to empty, and also a little bar there at the bottom which will give you a real time. Go back out of that, you can see what your radio is doing. You can turn this menu off if you want to. Messages, stored messages will show up there. Vehicle info, let's go into there. This is where you can see your coolant temperature, oil pressure, transmission temperature, engine hours, and it scrolls back. Tire pressure is saying it's okay, but we can actually look at the tire pressure. Trip info, this is where you can see your trip, and it will give you a distance, but also give you a time there at the bottom, which is pretty good. Then it goes back to the vehicle speed. I think that would be my default screen right there, is the vehicle speed. Alright, looking over here, you can see it has the big 8.4 Uconnect screen with the navigation and all that. So you can see it has the icons across the bottom which stay there. And this is your radio screen, your first icon. You have AM, FM, satellite radio. You can adjust your audio there. You also have your presets, your favorites there at the top. This button is your different audio, your media source. So this one actually has a CD player and an SD card input there, which you can control there. You can have a USB, auxiliary, or the CD player or SD card. You also could play music through the Bluetooth wirelessly through Bluetooth as well. The next button, this is where you have your heated seat controls, heated steering wheel, and your heated seat on the passenger side. You can also push this button to turn the screen off if it's just distracting you. You can just touch the screen, it'll turn right back on. Your climate is your next icon. You have your temperatures, you have where you want the air to blow, and your air conditioning, your fan speed, and all that. It's a dual zone, but you can sync it, so that way both of them are the same if you want to. The next icon is your navigation. You can put in a specific address if you want to, or you could look at the map and see where you're at and get your bearings. You can zoom in and out like so. Next icon is your phone, and once you pair your phone, you have access to your recent calls, your phone book. You can dial with a little dial pad. You can even, and you have favorites here at the top, you can even transfer it back to your cell phone if you want to have a private conversation. And there's more. So you can have Sirius Travel Link, which is pretty cool. You can get fuel prices, weather, movie listings, all kinds of information. I like the fuel prices because you can actually find the nearest gas station, which is handy if you're in an area in which you're not familiar with, but also you can sort it by price. And if you really want to get cheap, you can get the cheapest gas station around. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so that's kind of a quick rundown of the touchscreen here. So here's some redundant buttons with your climate control. So you don't actually have to use the climate control on the screen. You have your fan speed, your temperature, and all that stuff there. Volume for your radio, tune through the stations there. We already saw your SD card and your CD player. Down in here, you have a 12-volt power supply, which is turned on and off with the ignition. And then you have a USB and auxiliary input that's illuminated there, so you can find it in that little cubby, which is pretty good size for storing some stuff. You have illuminated cup holders here. Here's your shifter. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. There's two things that happens when you put it in reverse. The backup camera pops up here. You can see the bumper all the way up to the sky. You also have your park sense. Comes up here, so it'll actually beep at you and let you know if something is behind you. And then there's neutral, and there's drive. And if you continue down to the very bottom, this is where you can change through the gears manually. So you can change through the gears like so. And you'll know what gear you're in because you'll show you right here. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Hey, it's actually letting me go all the way up to fifth gear. But don't recommend starting out the vehicle that high. Okay, so here's your center armrest, and it's pretty soft actually. And I think it's just barely wide enough to share with your passenger, so it depends on how generous you are. Pretty good size there. Now this button right up here, the switch, allows you to do two things. One is to slide it back so you can access this little pocket right here, or you can pull it up and then you can access the entire compartment. Now this compartment is just like a little tray, which it can be removed or slide back, and then right in here you have a little storage compartment with a 12-volt power supply. You have an auto dim rear view mirror, and it's auto dimming right now because I have the shade over the light sensor here. You have some lights that you can turn on, like tap lights. They're kind of like a old airplane. I don't know if the airplanes still have it, but they have the little vents that move around, so that kind of articulates like that. You have some place to put some really big Hollywood sunglasses here, so that's a big compartment. But check it out, you lift it up and drop it there and you have a conversation mirror, so you can see people, and they call it a conversation mirror, but it's really to keep an eye on everybody in the back and make sure they behave. Now here's your visor, and the visor has a mirror and lights in it, and the visor has the ability to extend out as well, so you can get a better coverage there on the side especially. Okay, let's take a look at the visibility in the back. So you do have a lot of headrest there, but really it's not too bad considering there's a lot of glass to look out of, and you do have the park sense and the backup camera to help you out with backing up, but it's really not that bad. Okay, there you have it, 2017 Dodge Journey in the Crossroad Plus trim level, 2017. So thank you for watching, and thank you to Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle, and I'll see you guys next time.